Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. That you're having an amazing, marvelous, phenomenal start to your week. Um, or whenever you're watching this, you get what I'm saying. That you are feeling loved, appreciated, valued, worthy, respected, and all the things that you are deserving of. My name is Latisse. I do readings on here as well as you can book readings with me down below. So let's check out my podcast down below. But with that being said, done, cultivated, and created, let's go ahead and get into this reading here today. I wanted to do a daily reading, weekly reading type energy, just kind of whenever you're watching this, what's to come. So whether you're watching this on Monday, at the beginning of the month, end of the month, on Thursday or Friday, it doesn't matter. It's for whatever today is. It's a daily reading for that. You get what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying? It's gathered. We're getting into it. Um, the reason why I feel like doing this is because Spirit was just like, take things step by day, take things step by step. And that has kind of been like an underlining thing with the collective is taking things one step at a time, one breath at a time, one task at a time, and not overwhelming yourself. And now I'm kind of thinking of like, I think it's the Cheap app or something. I don't know. It's where you like have a little bird, and the more that you take care of yourself, the more it allows you to take care of the bird, and it grows and all these things. And you're just doing simple tasks, right? Or tasks that you want to envelop in your life. So, example, like you got up out of bed, that's a task that can be completed along with doing 5 squats. This is a task that can be completed along with writing and journaling. So it varies, it's different, but it allows you to see that all those steps give energy to the bird to complete adventures, to get more information, to grow, and it may not seem like a lot, but those steps are what create your day, your life, your energy, your character, your perspective, all those things. And it may seem like, oh, I didn't do too much. You did a lot. You are doing a lot. And our body sometimes feels like it has to always be in motion for it to be moving. But as we know, when we sleep, baby, if your body ain't moving, it's still moving. Because if it ain't moving, you're dead. So okay, so with that understanding, that information and knowledge, it's Spirit is just like take it day by day. Do, you know, I'm hearing don't oversaturate yourself with readings either. You're supposed to take about 24 to 48 hours between each readings if you're getting them. You know, Ruhi, please, he's trying to escape. He's literally trying to escape out the window. I will show you if he gets stuck in between like last time. Um, But it's this taking it, and he's already went outside, by the way. So don't be like, let that boy outside. Let him outside. Okay. Um, but taking it step by step, taking it day by day. It's almost this Virgo Knight of Pentacles energy where you are recognizing that everything that you do is leading up in creating your life. And that's why I feel like, dang, this week went by fast. Or dang, this month is going by fast. Depending on what you're doing, what your mind is occupied with, what you're focusing on, what your energy is. So with this, it's like, where are you at presently in this moment? And where is that leading you? Don't worry about what you could or possibly be doing or this and that. It's like, where are you at now, mentally, emotionally, physically, what you're putting out to the world, what is it coming back? You get what I'm saying? So don't overwhelm yourself. And I think I also did that in a short too. Like I said, it's an underlying message for the collective. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do everything. Your body is always moving, your brain is always thinking, your energy is always creating, your attention is always somewhere. So don't feel like you have to do any and everything. Just do what you need to do and or want to do, and take that step by step at a time. Take that moment and moment by time. Um, and allow that to be your revelation that sticks up for you and with you. So, with that being said and understood, let's get into it. Spirit is wanting me to light the incense. Hold on. Let's go ahead and drink some. There goes where he has come back. What did I say? And it's funny, he came back as soon as I lit the incense. So, taking things step by step. It's the small. It's also following your intuition, kind of like what I did. Was like, hold on, let me pause. Spirit is telling me to do something, and now he's not even. He's still trying to escape, but not that same way. um, and now he knows. He ain't even going around it no more. It's this removal of rushed energy, this removal of ungrateful energy, this removal of quick anger energy. Notice I didn't say removal of anger, oh, quick anger. It's allowing you to really see life as a whole, as the full picture, as what it is currently. I had to use the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom. My love, my love. Cats can be significant. Typically, like we already did the entire routine, got his food out, took him outside, set everything up. So, animals, children, younger ones, younger self can be very significant. It's something where you don't have to do everything. I'm hearing you also don't need an errands day. Because I feel like sometimes that overwhelms you is where we're like, I have to get everything done. This is my day to do errands. There's no other day. And it's like, that moment off from My Little Pony with Applejack, where she's like, I was doing this for so long, and she kept doing things even after she had resolved it, even after she had fixed it, or you're not looking from a different perspective. It's something where you don't. It's like this overwhelm from where you feel like you have to do everything, you have to accomplish everything, you have to complete everything, and I don't even feel like it's like a time crunch. I just feel like you feel like your body has to complete goals in order to feel worthy, in order to feel abundant, in order to feel productive, in order to feel needed, in order to feel wanted. You feel like you have to do these things, bring your back, break your energy, all this stuff. And it's just like, baby, take your life one breath, one step, one moment at a time. You cannot and will not be able to do everything. You can't even solve all the world's problems while you're currently here. So, what makes you think you're going to be able to solve all your problems in one day? Whether it's creation or destruction, it takes a lot longer than the day that you're seeing it being created or destroyed. If you get what I'm saying, you got what I'm saying. It's there. It takes time. So it's almost like a channel message. Spirit is just saying, Lord, just channel it. Pour for water, so good. Are we feeling anything, Spirit? Feeling this, okay. See what messages you have for the collective. Also, there's something going back to the Hilariously the Cheap app where I added, and you can add the task that you want to do as well, which is really nice. Um, where it's like replacing I should with I choose to. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I should do this. I gotta do this. I gotta, oh, let me get up. Let me get up. It's like my body is never knowing a moment of rest or peace. But once, and I was already doing that before the cheap app where I was just like, hold on, let me slow down. Do I gotta do it right now? I'm just thinking about it. Like, people feel like as soon as they get the idea, the creation is like, let me start building, let me start crafting, or else it'll go away. And I think that's a thing that sometimes was implemented in our heads where it was like, if you don't come with the idea, they go somewhere else. God will give it to somebody else. So how is God going to give your blessings, your gifts, your power, your life to someone else? And I always like to say, think about how many white t-shirt companies there are. Think about how many people sell t-shirts, period, whether they're white or not. Think about how many jewelry companies there are. Think about how many different restaurants there are. Think about how many different plants there are. Think about how many different. You get what I'm saying? Everything has its own purpose and place because it's destined to have its own purpose and place. So I'm hearing that, if you know what I'm talking about, emotional incest. I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that's about. But be mindful if you're going down that path, or be mindful of people that do that. It's, if you know what that is, if you don't, look it up. Okay? But it's kind of this energy of almost like that for some reason just came in, where you're trying to be worthy of someone else because what they implemented or what they put on you. Hold on. And not saying this is for everyone. Obviously, always take a resident because, baby, if you're trying to always force some shit, baby, the shit is going to feel painful. It's literally like trying to force the shit out. You just gotta let that shit slide the fuck out, okay? Just let the shit slide the fuck out. But it feels like this. I'm seeing that thing. I've seen it like a few times, and each time I see it, I be trying to like block a report or just like I don't want this. I don't know what the hell this is. Where it's like there's a mom, and like the kid is sleeping in the bed with the mom because that's what kids do. But it's always, from what I've seen, a woman and a little boy, her son. And it's like, there's a meeting in my... And the caption, and the two videos that I've seen is, a man is always asking to come over when there's already a man in my bed. First of all, it's a child. Second of all, why that song? It's like this energy, but it's like the everyday life that you're possibly putting on, or where it's like, growing up as a girl, okay? Take care of your siblings. Make sure you set this up. Make sure why don't you cook anything? Why don't you set up? Why don't you taking on the emotional burden? Well, just listen. And if I hear a motherfucker call a girl fast, because why is a child fast enough for an adult? That makes no sense. So it's something around those lines where don't do it. Look, he's literally trying to go in between. You see him? He's literally trying to go in between. He's stuck right now. So the Paul is stuck. Out. Out. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. It's not for a wide few. It is for a select few. But just be mindful how you're talking about your children or how people are talking about children, because that at least reminds me of my friend's family and all. And the mom-in-law to my friend, my sister, was like, she's taking pictures with her and her son. Now this is a grown-ass man, okay, at this point. So she dating my friend. She shows me pictures like, don't look like we a couple. Don't look like we dating. Don't look like that's my man. That's my man. They look like that's my man. I was like, I mean, you look young, but I wouldn't say you're man. No. She's like, no, not like that. Like, I mean, we just look so young. Like, so people think that's my man. I mean, look at that. The way that we looking. I'm like, no, if anything, you guys probably look like siblings. She's like, you get it. But like, my man, like, I'm gonna post this. People gonna be like, who is that? I'm like, that's my son. Bitch, you're weird. You're weird. And I looked at her, and I'm not a person, as you can see, I don't hide my face. I'm just looking at her like, what do you mean? Before I can even get it figured out, because we was at like an event, she saw some pictures, she got distracted with something else, and I'm already at a booth, and people trying to get tickets. I'm like, we'll come back to that later. I'm telling, don't worry, I'll tell my sister. I did tell her. She said, that's a different story. That ain't my story to tell. But it's things like that where I'm just like, what do you mean by that? And then the way the relationship came together. So it's certain things where you have to be mindful of, even the people, whether they're in your family or not. Trying to join it. It's like, how is this? It's kind of like that trend where it's like baby reveals and the mom goes out, and it's something with and they always say boys aren't raised, they're just neglected. Girls are raised to be a certain way. You have to do this, you're trained to do this, but boys are not raised. And so people get shocked when growing up. So this can be you can have feminine energy or be feminine, or you grew up in a way where you held a lot of not only the emotional burden but the physical burden. You gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta do this, you gotta set this up. This is the boundary. This is the you know so many things. And then you looking at your counterparts, i.e., your siblings, i.e., your colleagues, i.e., the people. It's like not treated the same way. I remember anytime I saw them bringing groceries, they was always carrying a light ass load, barely carrying anything, then sitting down and getting distracted. And I was gonna unload the groceries, and then your mom just wound up making you do it. You getting punished a whole lot more for not doing your chores, even though everybody didn't do their chores. It's certain things like that where it's like they can say something, it's like, no, that's not. And it's like, are you in love with this boy? Or are you afraid of this boy? Are you trying to replace this boy? Like, what is happening? What is going on? It's just what's coming out of my head, what's coming out of the channeling. I say so. Is be mindful of how you are looking at and interacting with certain things, because you'll add a burden onto somebody in certain things and you want to realize it. And I feel like also with the younger self energy as well is coming up in that way, where you have to understand where are you treating yourself, where you have to get things done, you have to accomplish things. If you don't, you're less of a person, you're less of a woman, you're less of a man, you're this, or you don't know how. And so you're trying to be like, no, I have to be, emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent. I have to do this. I have to shame myself. And it's like, whether you're man, woman, or non-binary or trans, it's this understanding of, it always goes back to the root of how you were raised. That's where you spend a lot of the sponge formative years that your brain is currently progressing. But if you know that your brain is sitting in liquid, and liquid is i.e. water, energy, it holds memory. So yeah, the body holds memory and all those things, but your brain. And so it's like you're either rushing tasks or feel like you have to do certain tasks because you are a woman or a man, or it's just this thing where you are confining yourself each and every day. And that's why I said it's like live in the present moment. Take each day and breath at a time. Stop trying to accomplish things. I was being supposed to have this in a house and this and pay for this, and oh, I'm supposed to do this because I'm this. It's something where you are putting this gender role type energy, and it's just like, why are you getting that label? It's kind of like how people be like, growing up, especially as a woman, I can only always speak from my experiences I heard from others, I'll share. But growing up as a woman, where it's like, oh, women are catty, they don't get along, this and that. And it's like, what? Women are the community holders, they're the matriarchies, they're the reason that there's a festival of Ghana. They are literally the glue. But we're arguing and conflicting when all wars, all disagreeing, like it started majority of not 98.99% of the time by man. That sounds like discourse to me. This sounds like confusion. And y'all barely know anything about each other. Y'all call what we know about each other, what we understand about each other, what we invest into each other is gossip and doing too much. But you also have to look at, you weren't allowed to do that, because everything was in conjunction to not being feminine. Don't do that. You like a girl. Don't do that. Da, da, da. Be strong. Don't cry with a man in the house. But everything, we have to learn how to be emotional. We have to learn how to cope. We have to learn. We had to. We were forced. If you're walking, make sure you walk on the opposite side of the way the cars are coming, because you don't want to get snatched. Da, 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 da. It's certain things we were taught, but it's just like, hey. That's why they say boys are not raised. They're just told what not to do. They're not told what to do, how to regulate their emotions, how to communicate well, this and that. But when you got a little girl communicating well, just because it's not in a tone or a frequency that you like, all of a sudden, you're getting smart. It's talk back. You think you're grown. You got a smart mouth like, well, yeah, I'm smart. Remember, my mom got books for the entire house, but it was only me and my older sister reading it. My second older sister, excuse me. My older sister's Mars too. She was having her own. She that okay, but it was just me and my older sister. But we're also expected to rear and watch and like People don't even realize that that's also emotion is what you are and are not doing because of how you view this person in a societal manner. And so now, if you are a man or a young man, because I only got it for 18 up on my motherfucking channel. If you are a man or a young man, you are at a point where you're trying to possibly rush being a provider, where you're trying to rush your emotions because you weren't actually able to have space and process them and work through them and with them, and try to understand that you have more than just two emotions, anger and happy. You are realizing that you are allowed to express yourself, and it's not seen as feminine or masculine, it's just seen as you, and realizing a lot of things. And so it's at a point where you're trying to quickly raise yourself. But if you think about it, you didn't quickly get to 20. You didn't quickly get to 30. You didn't quickly, that took X amount of years to get there. So now you are going to have to realize taking it day by day. And then you can start with things instead of calling a woman a female, call a woman a goddamn woman. It starts with things like that where it's slowly, it's like, okay, why am I framing it that way? But I don't think to call a man a male. Why am I doing that? Scenes where I'm expecting somebody. I had a conversation with a client a while back, and they were like, "Yeah, I feel like I can only go to my girl, for my emotional burner. Like that's who I go for the release. And right now we ain't even clicking, so I just feel so trapped inside." I was like, "Weren't you just at a studio session the other day with your boys?" Yeah, but like I can't talk with them like that. Like they wouldn't understand. I was like, how you don't know they understand if you never had those conversations? If you're feeling those emotions, if you're feeling that depth, if you're feeling like something is inside of you communicating, why do you think that they possibly can't feel those same emotions and things? And if you feel like you cannot express that around them, that should make you take a look at your surroundings and see, why can I not freely express myself? And why is there only one person that's having the emotional burden? And now you're wondering why this person is leaving. Because you're putting all the emotional burden and problem. What's that one thing? I think it was Nikki Giovanni. She's like, no. The same way you treat the white man out there, come treat me like that. Because I get your pain. I get your hurt. I get your anger. I get your regret. I get all that. And so you have to take it step by step. Like, where am I not showing up in my life, and where are others not showing up for me to fully be authentic? And if your woman is stepping more into the realization of, I don't need to take that on. I don't need to carry that burden. I don't need to always be your listening ear. I don't need to rush my body to reach this goal, reach this accomplishment. I don't need to do all that. I don't need to take on the process for this and process for that. No. And so it's coming in, like I said, it's looking at it like, how was I truly raised? Was I raised or was I programmed? Was I raised or was I neglected and just like, oh, boys will be boys? Was I raised or was I restricted? No, you can't do this. You can't wear that. You got to set this up. If you do. So why are you telling a 12-year-old you don't do something for your man? Somebody else with it. I'm 12. I don't have a man. Why am I even thinking about that? So it's certain things where it's like, how are you looking at it? How are you looking at this situation? Because if you're looking at way this and this, or they're always like this or this and that, I was like, you have been so warped into thinking something about somebody just based off of what? I'm gay. That don't mean I fuck with all gay people, because not all gay. You got I got gay brothers and they don't realize it. Like, you're being misogynistic. I'm gay. You're being misogynistic because you're a man and you are still a man. Like, yes, you are gay. That's great. That's great. But you're being misogynistic right now. And they still can't correlate the two. Do I talk to them still? No. But it's like what you're saying, how you're talking about that person's body. So it's things you have to realize. How are you talking about somebody? I feel like that's what this turned into. What are you doing day by day? To something where I gotta sit down for this one. up in arms. Yeah, because I'm up. But it either happened to you or you're doing it to someone. And it's happening unknowingly. And so when you're trying to rush, when you're trying to pressure, when you're trying to push, when you're trying to do so much, you don't even realize what you're doing. Yeah. It's either something that you're doing now, kind of in this regard, or something that happened to you. And it could also happen to you and you're also doing it now. But it's something where you have to take something day by day. And I think it's there. I think it's where I want you to take it day by day because you're not even seeing the pattern that you're currently creating or living in, the cycle you're currently living in. You're not even recognizing how you're possibly talking to yourself, your younger self, your children, your animals, and how it's in a direct reflection of how you were raised or not raised. With societal pressures you're still accepting and not accepting. You're not, and it's going to only come when you realize that I can only take it one step at a time. I can't look at all of my formative years all in one day. I don't have a snapshot of my life. I have to slowly go through it. I have to slowly process it. And so it's going to come with me looking at something, reframing my mind, rethinking things, and coming back to self. Wow. Yeah. You've been ruling. We got the Emperor coming out here, which is Aries energy, first house energy. Aries energy is knowing how you want to be, how you want to show up in the world, how you want to be in the world. It's the first. It's the first thought, the first inclination. It's the first perspective. It's the first body. It's also ruled by, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Mars energy. This tactical understanding energy. This war energy. This understanding that things have to get done, but doing it in a way that isn't rushing. For you're rushing into battle, but you won't even be able to cope out the field. So with the Emperor coming in here, it's like it's almost like you're not even realizing. I feel like this, instead of being an empress like your younger self, you're not even realizing, or a child, or just how it's ruling with such an iron fist, a dictatorship, a closed-minded ship, that either you can't thrive or the people around you can't thrive. But this card fell on the floor. Six of Wands, which is body energy, fire energy. So you can have fire placements, Aries, Sag, Leo. Six of Wands is also the body, again, leading back to, again, registering how you act and react to things, how you see things, how you look and view things, how you understand things. It's kind of like when people get into, some people, not all people, when some people get into lesbian relationships and it's a feminine stud, but the feminist's not treating the stud as if they're still a woman. I'm like, suck that up. Why are you crying? Why are you doing that? You're supposed to be a man. It's like, no. Because of how I choose to express myself, now you're seeing how I express myself by these endowments, or what I decide to emulate as being a man and not just having masculine qualities. Or butch. You get what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying. If you're queer, you got it. And I feel like we're only queer here. We're queer. So it's taking that in and recognizing that. What have you been developing in your body? What needs to change? What needs to metamorphosis? And it's going to take time. A butterfly does not just come up overnight. I think it takes about, it's either 3, 6, or 12 weeks. I cannot remember how long it takes for a butterfly to be created, but I know it ain't the next day. And you wasn't born last night. Yeah, we got the Star card. And then we have the Seven of Wands, a lot of fire energy. We also have Aquarius energy, which is the sister sign of Leo, knowing your worth, how you show up in the world, changing the world, being a leader of that change, being a representation of that change and implementing that into your life, getting renewed hope, restored faith, restored energy, and coming out of, like I said, this possible closed-mindedness, this emotional incestness, this stereotypicalness, this, oh, maybe after that, I'm not a, it's like you are there putting out into your energy how your body needs to react because of how you're thinking. Right? It's like that one video when a person has a hand over here and it's a border in between it's another hand. And they see the fake hand in their hand and the other hand is down here. Sorry, they got 3 hands in total. One is fake. Fake hand over here, you can see your fake hand. And then your other hand is down below and then you got another hand over here. And so they're rubbing the fake hand and your hand. And you're like, I can feel it, or I can feel it. And so with the sensation of this hand, after them rubbing the family, with the feather, they'll hammer the fake hand. And you feel like you got hammered. So you'll pull back your actual hand because your brain is registering, if I can feel the sensation over here, and this also looks like my hand, I should be able to feel the sensation over here. But that's not the reality. That's just what you're implementing on your mind because of what you see. Or a sensation that you feel, but that is not the reality. And I feel like spirit is like when you go back into being present in a moment, it snaps you back into reality. And not going off of trauma, not going off of pain, not going off of regression, not going off of fear, not going off of whatever. And truly going off of what your body wants you to move and think as. So with this energy, this Seven of Swords energy coming in here, the Seven of Wands coming in here right under the Emperor, it is removing you out of ruling with such rigidness, leading with such aggression, pulling yourself or guiding yourself with shame or resistance or tabooness or excuses. It's pulling you out of that. And it is making you take accountability with the Six of Wands. 6, 7, 6. I love you. Because kids will be kids. I don't know. If you're doing so much stupid shit, who knows? But it's this understanding. And even look at that, they got 7 stars above their head. So 7 can be very significant. Something could happen when you were 7. You could have a 7-year-old or a 6-year-old. But it's something where you need to recognize how you're feeling, reacting, moving, resisting, thinking, perspectives in your body, because that is affecting and afflicting you with how you think about people, society, gender roles, masculine, feminine energy, how you think about kids. Kids are the most oppressed class, the most unheard class. I don't even want to say class. I forgot what we're supposed to say instead of classes. Class is leading to, like, there's levels, but they are the most oppressed out here. They don't get a voice, and even their voice is told to be, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. Those are awful words. Who I got told that. Raise your hand if you. Why? Because now you're saying, I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to hear what you got to say. What you have to say is not important. It's not worthy. Or what you have to say is going to upset me. And instead of me regulating why this is upsetting me, I'm going to try to dysregulate you. When you are dealing with your inner child, when you are dealing with children, when you are dealing with changing and rearranging how you think about things and feel things, you have to be led with the need of curiosity. And not 3333, as I say that, with the need of curiosity and not with the need of, I already know, I already gotta understand, I already get it. No. Now if you're trying to change something, shift something, rearrange something, you don't. So you're going to have to lead yourself with this sense of curiosity, with this sense of not knowing. Like I said, you're going to have to re-raise yourself. And that's going to take one step at a time. One breath at a time, one task at a time, one change at a time, one challenge at a time. Instead of doing this, I'll do this. Instead of saying this, I'll do this. It reminds me of I'm pulling the card from the top. It's the Seven of Swords. It's the fucking Seven of Swords. This is about somebody that is full of betrayal, lies, deception. They literally, in the description of this card in particular for this deck, it says the person stole. And they think that they defeated because you can see the white flag in the back. But if you know anything about swords energy, it's communication, it's logic, it's written information, it's dialogue, it's truth, it's mindset, higher perception. So if somebody thinks that they have something, whether this be society, whether this be your parents, whether this be your own mindset, it's not real. It's false. I'm so glad the Seven of Swords came up because I kept accidentally saying it. It's like your logic and your words are not in line with where your body truly wants to be going and dripping. Because it wants to be free. It wants to express itself. It wants to live. It wants to be present. So with this Seven of Swords, I feel like you may be your own betrayer. Five of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Like I said, you're going to have to put in this work because, like I said, you may be your own betrayer. This is a married couple. They live in the same house, in the same home. Look at what's being yelled about. The disruption. The rose is still there. The intention for the love. The thoughts. Well, roses also have thorns, so obviously there'll be challenges. There'll be setbacks. Yes, this has spilled, but nothing is broken, nothing is damaged, nothing is destroyed. So it's allowing yourself to hold place for understanding that you possibly were raised a certain way or thought a certain way or treated people a certain way or did things. That's what this card is also about, holding place for what has been lost, what has possibly been spilled, what possibly has been on the floor, what you can see, the love that was once there that you don't know how to fertilize anymore, especially since the rose ain't even in something where it can grow in anymore. So when you're realizing that, it's that plugging of the ears. You're yelling at yourself, but you're also plugging your ears. Like, I don't want to hear that. I got 2 other cups. I got more time. They should be used to it by now. I got to show you what a real man is. Man ain't no one. Well, whatever it is. You are cursing your body with your own tongue, with your own mindset. You're putting a spell over yourself. And so Spirit is like, take it one day at a time. You notice how the Emperor doesn't move on the board? It's just there. But it's also covering more space than just one box. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Not supposed to be leaning like, It's like, no, I'm standing my ground, being strong and knowing who I am and developing that. Recognizing that. Because Eight of Pentacles is about hard work. Taking pride in your work. It's about, Eight of Pentacles is also about loving your name and its reputation, loving your energy in its reputation. My mom had the reputation of having a fun house. It makes sense. A lot of kids. It was a lot of fun. Had games, imagination, outside. You know, thanks to Section 8, we was able to have sometimes a good, nice backyard. You know, things of that sort. But that was her reputation. But in our eyes, we was like, sometimes my mom be fake. You got like this. Our reputation for us was completely different because of how close we were. You catching what I'm saying? So once you recognize what is your reputation based off of other people and what is your reputation for yourself and how are you implementing that? Because people gonna say shit about you whether it's real or not because it's based on their own perspective. But what is the truth? You're gonna have to dig into that. What is the truth? Moon, gut, intuition, shadow work, not being delusional. People forget that Pisces, yes, they're daydreamers, but they're manifestors. They are in touch with the spiritual world in this world. They have to be able to balance reality and potential actuality and releasing all in once consistently. And it's also why they don't want you to get overwhelmed because it's like take it one day at a time. You cannot unindoctrinate yourself all in one day. it took years of them programming and setting you up and getting you in this mindset. Like I said, whether you're man, woman, non-binary, trans, whatever. And those details that I gave were just very small, but it's the way that it's like, how do I view things? How do I view relationships? Tap into that shadow work, tap into that intuition, see where you're playing with yourself, seeing what you're playing with others, see how you react and act to things. And move in that way. Because it's time for you with the Seven of Wands to get out of your body and holding it captive with your thoughts, with your words, with possibly your environment. What is your reputation for yourself and for those around you? Because people like to act a whole certain way when they're doing things, and then be surprised when people don't talk to them later once a person is either waking up or raised up. Why won't my kids talk to me? Because they're looking at them from a different perspective, from a different reputation. I want this person. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. This is how you're supposed to be able to keep a woman, a man, a person. It's like, because that's not what that person wants or knows, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like you really have to integrate yourself and know that you are your first relationship. Aries energy. You are your first relationship and your longest lasting relationship, and the only relationship you can't separate from. And that anything in your life or who you decide to have in your life is also a conscious relationship. It's an extension of you almost. So how are you treating that extension of you? You're going to have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Maybe some therapy, maybe recognizing, maybe actually having conversations to listen, asking questions to listen. And it really, like I said, when you are re-navigating, changing your perspective, redeveloping, it has to come out of a way of a curiosity, not of a way of I already know. Because then you don't really want change. You don't really want difference. You just want to say that you're doing it. Don't use therapy words. Just act like you went to therapy and go to actual therapy or go get a psychiatrist. Two different things. Anyway, this is me reading, my darling, my love. I love you. Love yourselves more. Until next time.